Hello and welcome to bonus show number 10. Now, like I mentioned in the previous bonus show, this episode is going to be dedicated to Kevin Sinnott. Kevin is someone who I've met a few times thanks to Ralph at Ffin Parc Gallery. I visited Kevin with Ralph last year in 2024 and this year twice in 2025, and then also again at his show in North Wales. So what I'm going to be showing you is some of the behind the scenes, and I'm also going to give you a bit of a quick review of his book, which I haven't finished reading, but I'm going to talk about the bits that I have read and what it's telling me so far, because I think it's really interesting. So all right, let's get started. This video that I'm starting with was from my first trip with Ralph to go and visit Kevin Sinnott, and it was really interesting to meet him because he's such a high status artist that I didn't really realise the difference in scale that these artists work on. And these canvases, you can see they're all really big, all the paintings around, but you're about to see an absolutely huge painting. And it is just amazing to see someone with his style of painting, just again, one after the other, just loads of different ways of combining the paint. But look at the size of that on the wall. It's a whole wall. It's absolutely immense. I mean, I can't really even show you here the ginormity of this canvas that he's painted, and when you get up close it's got amazing detail in there as well, but just wonderful work, it really is. Now you have to forgive the wobbly and shaky footage. This is before I had a gimbal and I was just running around like crazy, and this wasn't when we first arrived either. We'd been to his house, we'd had a look at his studio, and this is called this is his actual his place in town, which he has for his work to exhibit his work and to sell it himself. So that's part of what we're looking through here, is additional pieces of work that Ralph may not have already seen, to see if there's anything else that he wants to include in the show. So this is called Studio 18 where we are, and then this is actually back at the house. So it's got some personal paintings, but it was just fascinating to see how much work he'd produced, different scales, some which are really themed. You can see there's a couple that are very, very similar, but he will just work just like you see the old classic artists, where they have a theme of, say, beach scenes or something, and they'll just paint over and over again different ideas of people at the beach. And it'll be people in an embrace or different collections of people. And but this is inside of his studio here, and it's an amazing space. It's just absolutely beautiful. And to see his painting station there was quite a treat, because, again, just seeing this incredible work all around, and then that is his painting station. It's a real insight. It's a real behind the scenes of how it works. And this here, you can see the photo reference that he's been using. He's printed off a photo reference there, and this is what he used, how he uses this pose that he has, this side profile, in order to produce this painting with a lot more narrative injected into it, which I think again is really insightful. It's an incredible thing to see and to witness. And that's the painting. Well, it's one of many. As I just said, he always does several of similar themes, but that's one of many. Just beautiful, incredible work with the hillsides behind him. I love these long, tall, thin paintings, and then he has these small square paintings. Lots of incredible shapes, really interesting compositions. I think he has great ideas and amazing instincts when it comes to colour. And I think that is why his paintings have all this strength of different tonal values, different hues, and different chromatic strengths. So yeah, I just think it's really nice to be able to see that. So that to me is a real nice insight to his painting process. Now here we have the final show by Kevin Sinnott in North Wales. So this is walking into the gallery when I first arrive. And just so you know, moments earlier, I was down the side of the gallery because I park up on the forecourt and then I run around the side to attach my camera to the gimbal. So this is me coming in and saying hello to everyone. And I'm attaching my camera to the gimbal down the side of the gallery where it's in the shadows. And there's people across the road sat on a bench or waiting for something. I forgot what it was, but I must have looked so suspicious because my gimbal is in a briefcase and the camera, they won't be able to notice that it's a camera at first, I don't think, because I'm just clicking things together and screwing it together. And I just thought I must look so suspicious. But that was moments before me running back towards the road so that I could walk in towards the gallery like you saw just a moment ago. It just made me laugh because I knew that I was being watched. This is the lovely Sarah Carvel, an amazing painter herself. So she came up, gave me a hug. We had a lovely little chat. And then, yeah, I'm trying to, well, this is me filming them in the background whilst chatting to Sarah. So that's why it's a bit poorly framed. But here we go. Sarah says, I'll see you in a moment. Ralph runs out for a moment. And I'm thinking, right, okay, I need to get the microphones out of my pocket, turn them on. So this is again, whilst I'm not framing it very well. And then you see Ralph introducing this lovely booklet he had printed out for Kevin's show. And you'll see here that I get Ralph's attention to introduce to him the idea of miking them both up, because otherwise I'm capturing this conversation unmiked, which is funny. And I still include it because there's great jokes and moments of levity which happen before the show really kicks off. But you need this stuff on microphone because it's great. And it really is just part of the environment of his launch of the show, which was an amazing launch. It was really nice. I'm glad it was his first time in this gallery, the new building in Llandudno. So it was lovely to see him there. The last time, I think he had a fall, so he couldn't come to the first show that he'd had at the Llandudno gallery. But he was very happy with the sales. And again, the sales for this show were great. Over half of the paintings sold, and they're not cheap paintings. You know, he's got a great name to him. He's really built up an incredible career. So it's quite, you know, well-priced work. Let's put it that way. And so, yeah, the point is that here's me handing the microphones to Ralph. Ralph quickly pops on himself and then introduces the idea to Kevin here, who he doesn't mind. He always plays a bit like, I'm hostage to this again. I'm going to get blackmailed. He always likes to play around with the jokes about how we're going to capture him something on camera. He honestly doesn't mind. He's a great sport and he knows that he likes the limelight. So we're celebrating him. We're going to make a great video of who he is and what he's done. So he likes to joke around and play around, but he is comfortable and having fun. But yeah, the booklets look great. I really enjoy them. I always make sure that I get booklets from the gallery because they print out these amazing high quality images, and it gets a really nice write-up inside by Roland, who's Ralph's partner. And it's all just really nice to see because then you get a bit of insight into the background of the artist in there and also the details of the show that you're about to see. So my collection of those has become immense since I started collecting them before I was working for Ffin Parc. So yeah, it's really nice. But here we have some collectors just arriving here, people who have bought Kevin Sinnott painting. So this is him meeting them because the painting is literally just to the right, which I haven't got on screen at the moment, but you may see in the background in a second. So I'm just trying to frame up some of this conversation. And it was lovely. I actually made 2 videos of this technically, one being the video which went on YouTube and the second one being a short that I think Ralph either put on Instagram or maybe he put it as a YouTube short. You know, so just a 1 minute vertical video, which was a shorter edit of all these moments. So yeah, you can see one of the paintings already sold here as well. There are a good few sales. It's done well. But yeah, this is a lovely couple who I don't know them, but I see them at almost every launch. So I know that they are patrons of the arts, and it's really nice to see them be able to interact with such a high profile artist and enjoy themselves. And I think everyone just really did delight in the fact that he was there to talk to and to walk around and see this incredible colourful work everywhere. So it was a real experience. Now, I'm only part way through Kevin's book, but the bits that I've read are so interesting. There's a section right early on at the beginning. He's talking about being in primary school. He's with a class, and it says, one afternoon in the infants class of St. Robert's RC Elementary School at Aberkenfig, we were all asked to spend some time drawing with crayons. The teacher suggested that we try imagining a boat. Apart from a couple of triangles for sails, I don't recall how I managed the boat. This is the bit which I find interesting, though. He said, what I do remember, as if it was yesterday, is what I did about the sky. I wanted to put a cloud in the sky, but I didn't know how, so I turned my head and looked out of the window. The result was noticed, and I was asked to go to the front of the class and hold my drawing up for everyone to see, which I did in such a way as to hide my face, red with embarrassment. The importance of this little thing is that it has stayed with me so vividly in my memory. When I turned my head to look for something in order to discover how to draw it, I knew that an important step was being taken. I intuitively understood that I was making a technical advance long before I had any knowledge of how the Romans and Greeks had mastered the foreshortening of the Egyptian foot, permanently stuck in profile, by letting their eyes inform their brains and looking at what it was in nature that they were drawing. From then on, however, I must have spent too much time looking out of the window. I was very late learning how to read, and I suppose inevitably failed my 11+, the mechanism whereby the authorities in the UK decided who at the age of 11 was to receive an education and who wasn't. Now, the point of that is that his moment of learning, the observation, informed his art. I thought it was just such a pinnacle moment for Kevin Sinnott. And there's loads of amazing images in this book to show his experimentation early on in his career, and then this moment where he's kind of using this knowledge early on of this figurative, this understanding of the fundamentals, and then pushes into abstraction and flattening layers, and really trying to ensure that he doesn't abide by this strict rule of representational dictates by certain educators. Now, he talks about ideas as well. So this is one of his pieces early on before he goes really abstract, and this is talking about a piece called The Donkey. And I found this interesting because he says the important thing was the intellectual relevance of the idea, the debate of ideas that was current. Then something happened which I can no longer explain, save to say that it was kind of a submission or surrender, supplicating my conceit at the foot of a towering simplicity. The summer recess had continued a period of upheaval that began in the final term of my second year. It dawned on me, as if a revelation of a historically pivotal kind, that great things may be achieved simply by rendering in the most direct means, in pencil, with a brush, a stick of charcoal, whatever object or corner of the banal world is in your range of vision. No clever intention was necessary. The active response to the visually real world by a subject, me, simply drawing and painting it in as direct and unsophisticated a style as possible, seemed to me, overnight, to be sufficient. I just think that's really interesting. He says then, sufficient. What I remember was that it was the most exciting idea I ever had. I couldn't sleep at night. This painting of an... Okay, that is it for bonus show number 10. In the next bonus show, I will be sharing with you clips from this evening's Christmas mixed show at Ffin Parc. And also, I was privileged enough to have Matthew Wood do a bit of painting for me on camera. So I'm going to show a little bit of that. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.